Alright, what's up guys? What's growing on? I've got some exciting stuff to show you today. It's always exciting around here, you know how we roll. We finally finished the big Jabo house, big greenhouse, and it's up and running. Most everything's done in there. It's already at about 65% capacity. I want to show you guys what's growing on and what we've done in there. Kind of exciting stuff. So as you can see, we redid the entire place in the black weed mat. That is a very heavy duty commercial grade weed mat. There is no name for this other than ground cover. You can buy it at commercial landscape supply places. I've linked it in a couple of videos, but I have not found a specific company that actually makes this mat. I get the question all the time. I'm sorry, I don't have that answer. You guys can see we've added a bunch of big red jabuticabas in here on drip. All of these tables I built out of recycled pallets, and there's different quality in these pallets. I can tell you that the ones over here on the left side are 6 inches thick. They're way more heavy duty than the ones that are out here on this outside that are almost 4.5, 5 inches thick. I've actually kind of started double layering those ones down on that end, and this whole side over here against this far east wall is double layered just for some extra support and stability, because we've noticed when you really load these down, like this outside, they start to really kind of bow through the center. You can kind of see it maybe on a few of these, and they're not even completely loaded down. And they got a little bit of that bow to them, and eventually that's just going to get worse. So by putting the double pallets like you can see we did here on the last two, we really beefed it up a bit. Same thing down here on this end. Big red jabuticabas, and we're still kind of playing with the irrigation in here. I did just put the shade cloth back on the roof. That was a game changer. We noticed we were definitely getting a little bit too much light. I'm also trying to dial in the irrigation in here. In an ideal situation, I wouldn't even have the plastic roof. We'd just have the shade cloth, so this way I could shut off that irrigation on the days we get the rain. We are also trying to get a little bit of freeze protection here, so that plastic roof is going to help with that. Everything almost here on this table is reds. We've got lots of different varieties of jabuticaba in here. I've got yellows, I've got whites, I've got scarlets, I've got lemongrass, I've got, oh, this is the white right here. There's the ESQ, a bunch of strigopes, and all of these one gallon reds we're starting to sell. I have a lot of 4-inch scarlets that we're starting to sell, a lot of 4-inch reds that we're starting to sell, so those can get shipped to you. You could see that we had an ant problem, so as soon as I cleared the greenhouse, I had a major ant problem in here. They were in the trays, they were in the pots, they were in the big red jabuticabas, so I put 6 ant stations in here. I have 2 in the center on each row, and 2 on each end. I've already refilled these things, I think, twice, and I've noticed that ant population's been knocked back about 90% so far, so that stuff definitely works. Very happy with the ant stations. I can show you maybe a couple of trays that have a few ants still, but for the most part, compared to where it was, the population's almost 90% whacked back. Right here we have some Morellenia seedlings, hoping to graft those here in fall when things start to cool off a little bit. And here's some more of the reds. And you can see these guys are all at a mature age, ready to flower, no fruit on them just yet. And we've got some room out here on this outside row. I still have some of these bonsai jabuticabas. If we don't sell these by fall, I'll just use these as a rootstock for grafting. And then lots of trays that are coming up. And you know, something I'll tell you guys, I started lots of red seeds recently. We just sold some scarlet seeds recently. The scarlets take way longer than the reds to come up. I've had a bunch of people email me, my seeds never sprouted. I contacted the source I get them from. I've talked to other growers that grow these, like my buddy John. They could take up to 8 months to sprout from a scarlet seed. Another thing I noticed that a couple of the seeds actually split in half. Both sides of that seed can sprout. I don't know if that's quite polyembryonic, but I've seen a split seed sprout from both sides. One sprout in 6 months, one sprout in 7 months, so they can take a little longer. Hold on if those seeds haven't come up with you yet. Moisture is the key. Moisture is the key with the jaboticabas. They like that wet feet. Probably going forward, I'm going to start experimenting with sprouting those seeds in like vermiculite and then planting them, seeing if it speeds up the process a little bit. I'll keep you posted on that. But greenhouse is looking epic. Really excited with the way this turned out. Big game changers I could tell you that we've done here. You can see we have little micro irrigation heads. I've got the blue nozzles in here. Those put out about 10 gallons an hour. Right now I run this irrigation system. We've got 4 zones in here. Those zones run for 5 minutes a day, and it is enough to keep these wet throughout the entire day, even with the plastic on the roof, even with the heat that we get here during midday. So seems to be working perfect. Right now we're making some adjustments. Ian just ran to get some parts, and we're adding some more of these 6x1 Rainbird, what I like to call an octopus head. You can see right here, he's got this that's getting ready to go on. And we tie in those drips for the larger pots, and I've decided to put some larger pots down the center of the tables, just like we have here at the ends of these other tables and maybe even the middle. So I'll probably end up with 15, 20 red jaboticabas in here. And I'll show you what that head looks like that I was just talking about. I call it an octopus head. Rainbird calls it a 6+1. But this is that head that allows us to tie in those micro emitters. And then we put 2 of these in each pot just in case one happens to clog, or that second one's always gonna put out some water. So turn those on in a second. Mr. Ian's just getting back to finish gluing them on here. I'll kind of show you how those heads run, how these things spray, and how everything goes in here. I will tell you that by putting the concrete base down in here, the floor is like rock solid. It's like concrete underneath this black mat. Big difference to the other areas where we just prepped with sand or, flattened out that native soil. This is something that I'll probably do in all of my nursery areas going forward, as far as putting down a hard base before I put this ground cover. I noticed in the long run, you're gonna get lots of less dips, lots of less, potholes. You're going to end up with a long, hard, steady surface for the long term. So even though I'm only a month or 2 into this, I can tell you that there is not one single low spot. Other nurseries, a month after we've done them, just from running the irrigation, I end up with some bellies here or there. So looking good. This is a double grafted double grafted Grimmel jaboticaba. See what else we got growing on in here. Oh, Pingo di Mel. Okay. So exciting plants for days. This is that lemongrass variety. This is the Novak Petrantha. This is an interesting one I got from a friend in Argentina. Whoa, Jabo, okay. So lots of exciting stuff coming up in here. Oh, dude, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's up?
Dude, you got those octopus heads?
I do.
Where they hiding, man? Where they hiding?
They're right over there.
Okay. All right, so yeah, wrapping this thing up in here today. Everything is looking real good. There's our MaxiJet soft line. This is what we use to actually tie in these little heads. And I really like buying it in the bucket like that. We used to buy it in a reel. This bucket makes it a lot easier to work with. Just pull it out as you need it. It's a nice soft rubber tubing, 1/4 inch. Like I said, you just tie those heads into it. We have the valve boxes exposed right now, and this is just running off of a Hunter Node wireless irrigation timer. Really like using those with latching solenoids, must be used, but we use those when we don't have a power situation. Really nice for a standalone zone or for all the way up to 6 zones. So what do we got here? Barbie Pink. I see she's got some guavas coming up. These are all red jaboticabas. Those are all scarlets. So lots of seedlings on their way. These are all scarlets right here, and you can see, we started these scarlets. Let's see if I can find a date on one of these trays. Oh, so 610. Not all of these have sprouted up yet. You can see that one literally just came up last night. That one came up yesterday. So these guys can take a little while to start sprouting. Sometimes the weeds beat them, like you can see in this situation here. And I know the nursery girls were just in here yesterday doing some weeding. So, even though we use mostly just pro mix soil with all of these seed trays, all of these 1 gallon pots, that stuff's supposed to be pretty sterile. We still get some weed penetration coming up inside of these pots. Don't ask me where that stuff came from. So, dude, what do you think about the new Jabo house?
Pretty exciting.
Huh? Legit, huh?
Whoever did the irrigation did a good job.
What's gluing on over here? Whoa. That's right. Tell them about that rag trick. What's the rag for, E?
Wipe off the excess glue.
We don't want to make a mess, right?
Yeah.
Tell them about your hold your breath trick. You don't want to breathe that stuff in, right?
Stuff's toxic.
Whoa, oh, don't breathe. All right, guys, so that is what's left of my perennial peanut. I would say the new Jabo house is kicking butts, and this is pretty much just a Jabo house other than a couple of Barbie pink guavas you might have seen in here, a couple of random seedlings, maybe some Rolenia. For the most part, going forward, this is going to be 80-90% Jabo in here. So different varieties. Going to be constantly experimenting, looking for new seeds to bring in. I can tell you that the water filtration system has been a game changer in here. You could see all of these pipes are still white. Ants are a game changer in here. And like I had mentioned, putting down that base before we put the ground cover down was another game changer. So it'll be really interesting to see this greenhouse evolve as times go on. Really excited to come back in here and show you guys some Florida snow when all of these red jabuticabas are flowering and going off. And I'm just looking forward to watching everything else kind of sprout up and grow up in here. So keep an eye out for the Jabo greenhouse. I'll definitely have some updates for you guys coming forward. I hope you enjoyed this little follow-up video. It's finally done. So stay tuned. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and do so. Most importantly, pound Jabos, pound Jabos.